Let me tell you a story. It's a few months ago, and I'm at home in my bedroom. I've got my camera plugged into my computer, and I'm transferring over 7 video files that I've recorded today, YouTube videos. As I'm transferring them over, 7 videos, I can't help but to get like a flashback of what things were like in school, where the teacher would be at the front of the board, writing whatever we were learning down, and I wasn't focused. They'd give us books, and we're supposed to read this book and answer these questions. I'm trying to read the book, and I can't focus. I'd be trying to read whatever the homework was, whatever the assignment was, the textbook was. I would try, but it's like my brain just didn't really work that well. And I'd read one sentence and two sentences, and then I'd forget the first sentence, and I'd have to reread it again. Or when the teacher was talking, or even friends were talking to me, my mind would just be in all these different places. And so, of course, I didn't get much work done. Of course, I struggled in school. But here I was today, and I'm transferring over 7 videos that I've recorded today. I post a video every single day, which means that I've just done a week's worth of work in one morning. This is unlike me, at least for most of my life. The lesson from this story is that to become successful, a lot of it is down to just your ability to work hard and smart and effectively in this new knowledge work era that we live in. It used to be that the guy who could work like a mule and just push, the car to the factory, use his body the most, he was the hardest worker. But these days, it's not about just working like a donkey and just trying to push. But it's about working in a way that lets you smash out the content. It lets you grow your business. It's the high level decisions that you make to get the best guest on your podcast. It's these new modern day intellectual habits that really create success. And so I've realized that there's a key list of a couple of things that the highest performers, the most successful guys that I know, I'm quite well connected now, and I know multiple guys in their 20s who are worth tens of millions. I'm connected with guys who are in their 30s and living like that ultimate male advantage, male SMV peak right now. They're 30, 33, 35. They've got modeling agencies. They're worth millions. They've got amazing apartments. What I've realized about all of these, they all share a particular set of traits. By the way, bro, you're consuming all of these educational videos, which is awesome. But let's be more serious. There is a war on masculinity. And for us to win this war, we need you to join our gang. I'm welcoming you to the Adonis Gang. Come join your brotherhood by clicking the top link in the description right now and watching that welcome video after you finish watching this one. The first part of the routine that will make you successful is to understand the importance of your morning routine. There's a quote that I like, which is that your life is made in years. Years are made in months. Months are made in weeks. Weeks are made of days. Days are made from the morning. So if you want to have a fantastic life, have a fantastic morning. Many people, especially young people, have very, very poor morning routines. They don't really have much of a set routine, but consistently they wake up, grab their phone, and scroll on TikTok in the morning whilst they've still got stinky breath. You probably know 5 guys right now who do that exact same thing. They've got stinky breath and they've scrolled for an hour. They've not even brushed their teeth yet. The highest performers that I know, as soon as they wake up, they do some hard stuff. They go get into the cold shower within 30 seconds. The very important part of the morning routine when it comes to building success is a habit that I call eat the frog. So there's a question for you. This is a weird question. I don't know. It's asked in old school books of productivity. And they say, okay, if you were made to eat a frog at dinner time, when would you eat it? Would you eat it before your meal and dessert, or would you eat the frog afterwards? Probably before, right? So if you had to eat this frog next to your dinner and dessert, if you eat it first, it's all gross. But then you get to eat your normal food after that and your palate's been cleansed and you feel good. If you choose to eat it afterwards and you delay doing the hard work, the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, well, then you're eating your current food right now whilst you're literally scared of what's about to happen. So you're not even enjoying the current food. And then you finish the food, it's time to eat the frog, and you've got nothing else to cleanse the palate with afterwards. So it's just this gross experience where you've had something good and now you've got something bad. A lot of men know intuitively that actually doing the bad, hard thing first and then the good thing afterwards leaves you with this like better taste in your mouth. What this means in terms of routines to become successful, it means to wake up and do the hard task that you have first. For a lot of my life, let's say if the hard task was like recording videos or doing the homework, I'd wake up and I'd do the easy things first. I'd wake up and just cope and say, okay, I'll just watch a couple of educational YouTube videos. I'll eat breakfast first. I'll do this little thing. I've got to message someone. You do these easy tasks first, and all you're doing is just taking off like a little bit of your energy and your mental performance to come up for the big task later on. You're delaying, procrastinating from that big, uncomfortable task. And so it's just constantly in your mind like a mental illness. The biggest change that I've had to my productivity so far, which has really helped me become successful, is simply wake up and do the hardest task first. It's 9 a.m. right now. I'm recording these videos. I'm recording a huge list of videos. I haven't done easy tasks before this. I haven't even ate any food yet. I'm totally fasted and focused on this. Wake up and do the hardest task first. So think about what that is for you. If you're a student, it might be studying in a particular way. It might be, for example, you've got an exam coming up and you go and download and like print the potential exam questions. And so it's like you've got like 10, 20 different exam papers in front of you and you're just doing them and checking your answers and seeing what you got right, seeing what you got wrong. That's quite hard to do mentally. Most of your peers aren't going to wake up and do something like that. They'll wake up and they'll scroll. They'll wake up and read a bit of the textbook, like easier things. They'll wake up and watch the lecture online or something, easy things. But if you wake up and do that hard task first, the rest of the day feels more pleasurable. It feels easier. I still have a bunch of random little tasks to do today. I've got to think of like who's going to make the thumbnails. I've got to think of the title. I've got to do these things, right? If I did them before coming here and recording, my performance in this big task right now would be worse. So I've done them afterwards, and I'll do the big thing first. This is how you really make progress in your business, in studies and everything. It's that like big, uncomfortable task, getting it done consistently. As a YouTuber, it's waking up and just recording videos. Podcaster, doing the podcast. Studying or in school, preparing for the exam, working on your essay, working on your dissertation. The second part of the routine is to have no distractions early in the morning around this time that you're eating the frog. Many guys, like I said, they'll wake up, check TikTok, they'll reply to notifications, reply to this message, send, some older guys will wake up and send an email to this other guy, send a message to this guy. And all of that just strips your focus away from that big task that we wanted to just give our full attention to. So the best routines that I ever have in terms of when I'm becoming like super successful, super productive, I wake up and I don't check my phone. I don't look at the notifications. I don't check this little thing. Okay, let me just see who's messaged me. I'll reply to the messages. Let me check my Instagram or anything like that. You certainly don't want to do like the dopamine things, like, scrolling on TikTok or watching the random YouTube video or anything first thing in the morning. But many people still will wake up and check their notifications. And that's just as bad, because it's like when you wake up, you have, let's say 100 points to use for work, like brain points to use for your work. If you've checked a message from someone, you've just lost like 5 points. It's been diverted away. What if you see 10 notifications? It's like half your potential's just been diverted away. The better thing is wake up in this pure, like sacred time where you don't check your phone. You know what the big task is. It's like it's already written out. Like, for example, record the videos, do the studying, the homework, whatever. And you do that without looking at anything else. Then the next part of the routine, which is super, super powerful, and I've mentioned it in this video already, if you can guess what it is: intermittent fasting. This is a way to eat your meals, to structure your diet that will make you so much more productive, which again will lead to success. Many people wake up and they eat breakfast first thing in the morning, and that's not because they're really like actually hungry. It's just because of like conditioning from these big companies who have told us that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Breakfast is a scam. Like, humans and animals don't eat breakfast. We just eat when we hunt, and it's often not first thing in the morning before we've actually went on a hunt. But many people will wake up and they'll have cereal and sugar and little, breads and grains and everything. And then you're just digesting whilst you're trying to do your work, and you're wondering why you're so sleepy like an hour after you've woken up, and you're wondering why you need 2 coffees first thing in the morning. The difference this makes is absolutely huge. So if you want to be successful, don't underestimate this. Wake up, do that hard task, and specifically do it without eating anything so far. Make sure your body is fasted when you're doing the hardest tasks. You will perform so much better. If you've never tried this, just try it tomorrow. Wake up, do that hard work, and don't eat breakfast. Don't eat anything. Literally, you can just have water. You can have black coffee. Don't have anything else, and just see how much more your brain works, because it's not digesting, it's not feeling slow. These days, I'm so aware of this that if I eat any food, even not even like unhealthy food, but if I even have a clean meal, I can feel the difference of what's happening to like my mental process, my intelligence, because I'm digesting, and your body uses a lot of processes for that. It almost seems ridiculous to me that people will eat and then try and do important work afterwards. When you eat, that should be a time for eating and socializing and resting. When you think about how animals eat, they feast and then they basically just like lay around. There's no animal that feasts and then tries to hunt afterwards. But in the modern day, that's exactly what we're doing. We eat and we try and hunt mentally afterwards with our work, with our studies, and we wonder why we're not performing well. That guy in your school whose grades or performance is so much better than yours, or the entrepreneur who's making more money than you in your niche, trust me when I say he's hungry, figuratively and literally. I thought of this once. I was like, imagine we put two men in a cage and told them, like, if you want to come out, you have to kill the other one. If we put that situation, which man do you think, if everything else was equal, which man do you think would perform better? The guy who woke up and had a bunch of cereal, or the man who's fasted and hungry? For many of the fitness athletes here, they'd say, yeah, the cereal because he's got carbs in him. But for many of the fighters, well, no, not exactly. If you're full, you're not going to have the same vigor to you. This is kind of like the opposite effect of ejaculation. For many men, they literally like ejaculate like every day with masturbation, and they wonder why they're so like lethargic and tired. It's the opposite of eating, where if you are full of your sperm as a man, you've got more energy. So full of sperm and empty of food makes a man a killer. If you can maintain that and retain and also fast, you can accomplish amazing things compared to the guy who's like spraying his seed and just eating sugar all the time. Also, if you do look online for all of your role models, you'd find it very interesting to see the dieting structure for many of the guys that you look up to. Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Jocko Willink, David Goggins, E-Man. A lot of these guys, very interestingly, when they've been asked about their diet structure, they always say the same thing. They say they wake up, they only have coffee first thing in the morning, they work and work and work, and when work's done, that's when they have a pretty big meal. It seems to me that a lot of these like high-performing guys, who are a lot of like the role models for young men, are all on what's called OMAD, one meal a day. They wake up, they work, and they eat their first meal, the only meal, at like 5 or 6 or 7 p.m. Now, for me, that's far too late. I'm in bed at literally 7 p.m. I wake up super early. So I eat my meals at about 11 a.m. Today it'll be more like 1 or 2 because I'm recording, so it'll be quite late for me. But I wake up at about 3:30 a.m., which isn't like an exaggeration. That's just like literally what time it's easier for me to wake up. I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and I usually don't eat till about 10 or 11 a.m. So I'm awake for 7 hours working with really good focus, with only black coffee, no little bits of food, nothing like that, literally just black coffee and just normal water. And I'll work for a bunch of hours, and then I'll break my fast with massive meals. So I'll have like one massive meal, which is like 1,000 calories. And then literally straight after eating that, I'm like talking to people, I'm relaxing in the sun. I'll literally like sunbathe and just like sit around and just talk to people. Then I go to another restaurant and have a massive meal there, which is like 1.5 thousand calories in one meal, which is like, 2 massive steaks with bone marrow, with cheese, with these other things. And then after that, it's like, I can feel the difference, right? So I'm really full right now. So again, I'm like sat around for like an hour or two talking to people. Maybe I'm reading a little bit, but I'm not doing anything that's like intensive. So by about 11, it's like I've already done what I needed to do, and I can just eat and feast and just relax in the sun, like almost like a lion would. Another part of the routine that I found very interesting in the successful guys that I know is that they're switched on when it comes to their work throughout the day. So what I've found is the difference between, let's say, like the mediocre man and the successful man is that the mediocre man does the bare minimum of his work, of his studies, and then just puts his mind's thoughts into his addictions, video games, porn, whatever he's spending his time on. The successful guy, what he seems to do is he'll blast his work, he'll work really hard, but then for the rest of the day, his mind is still on work. The successful guy always seems to be around like masculine men. And even when he's finished work and he's like on his time off, he's talking about work. So recently for me, my friend Scott, he flew over and he stays with me now in Bali. And literally just that one change has made me genuinely about 5 times more productive. Before this, it was more like a holiday and I wasn't even enjoying it because as masculine men, we need something to work hard on that we, really, really find meaningful. And I wasn't very much working hard. And so literally as he was on the way to come fly over, I was sat here with my girl telling her like, we might fly home. We might just go home. Because I'm not actually like being productive here. I'm not working on the things that mean a lot to me. I have the hearts and minds of millions of men who like see me as their leader, and I'm not even taking the duty for that. I've been unproductive, undriven. Scott lands, and straight away, because now there's a guy for me to speak about like my work to, we're bouncing off ideas, and it's like it just made work so much more important in my mind. And I'm getting literally 100 times more ideas and like, like random lessons, and we're hyping up and talking about how great this business model is and what we're going to do. And, it's like the energy just keeps bouncing. And it's like you're way more productive every day. This is your hidden advantage, is having a masculine friend who you share your ideas with when it comes to work and duty and masculinity. And that helps you, of course, become more successful because you get so many of those like random shower thoughts and you have so much more of a drive to go and do that hard work. Many young men, and maybe like yourself, they don't actually have the masculine friends to discuss their work with. And so if you only have friends who are losers, who are like dead weight, well, then you're not really going to be discussing your goals with them. You've probably tried, right? You've probably tried to like get your friends on self-improvement, get them into the gym, and they're like, their effort is just so low, or they think it's cringe, they think it's weird, they think it's like a scam or something. They're just unintelligent people. What if you did have a group of friends who were just like you, or even slightly past you? Imagine how much that would help your growth. That's what I really have wanted to set up for my community, for my like Adonis gang. And that's why we've got that private community that I keep speaking about, because it's just awesome to see young men connect together who have got the same values as us, who are going to the gym, who aren't watching porn, who are eating clean, who are meditating every day, who aren't playing video games, who are respectful, who want to become more like Adonis, the ultimate man. And the final part of the daily routine of successful men that I've seen, which is so interesting, and this is going to piss off a lot of like men out there, it's actually spending time with feminine women. There's a huge culture online of like these sort of Sigma male guys who say like, oh, I don't care about girls, women are pointless, I don't want to spend time with them, I only care about making money and my, whatever. All of those guys are literally losers. Every successful guy that you see, guarantee he spends time with women, or at least one woman. Guarantee it. At the end of this hard work day where you've exhausted your masculine energy, the best thing that you can have is this feminine woman by your side. This idea of like the Sigma male who isn't around women, it's very cringe, and it brings in this group of guys who usually aren't good with girls at all, who are usually kind of ugly and lazy. And it gives them this sort of like nice warm feeling that, yeah, see, like women aren't good to be around, guys. It's more of a cope that like you don't have good women around you, because the successful guys will tell you they were heavily inspired by women. They always keep women around them. It's cool these days to say that you don't care about dating, relationships, other people, family and stuff. But if you do want to be like a strong traditional man like Adonis, then you will value those things. So if you can attract like a woman with high standards, you can attract like a high quality woman. One of the greatest boosts that you will get to your productivity, to your success, is having her around at the end of the day. You don't want her to, infiltrate on the time where you're trying to work hard. So you don't want to like wake up next to her, wake up late and, go for breakfast with her all the time. You still want to wake up early and go do your thing and spend time with masculine men and go work on your goals. You want to go to the gym without her next to you so that you can, stay dialed in, instead of like, you go to the gym with your girlfriend because you both want to go at the same time, and you go and you're there like listening to like demon music, trying to get ready for this workout, and she's there like skipping along, holding a little hip thrust pad, like smiling and stuff, and we need to go in this like dark energy, just having a rubbish workout. It's like sometime away from each other's awesome, but an hour, 2 hours at the end of the day, making love, spending time, giggling, playing, wrestling and stuff, that really does add like a lot of life force for men. It's not as cool to say that these days. I don't really understand why, but I'm a big advocate for loving relationships. Here's your actionable step for this video. Go back through this video and choose one of the steps that I've outlined, one of the things that you can add to your daily routine, and set a plan right now to implement that for tomorrow. So maybe you're going to wake up early. Maybe you're going to do the eat the frog and you're going to choose the most important exercise. Whatever it is, just open up like a notes page on your phone right now and just choose which one you're going to do. Maybe rewatch that section again and plan it for tomorrow. Set that intention right now, maybe visualize it. If you add in just one of these things, you will have a huge boost to your productivity. When you increase your work rates, you become more successful. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.